If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Today I was working on Psalm 148, which is one of the Psalms of praise. And all creation praise the Lord, it says. And there's a lot of Psalms like this, a lot of messages like this. And I was reminded of a visit I had to the mountains, Colorado. And I was visiting my sister, and I was up quite a bit earlier than her. So I went for a sunrise walk around a frozen lake, and I was just overwhelmed by the stark beauty. You know, it's winter, there's not a lot of lush green, but it was a starkly beautiful scene. And I was struck by the beauty of God's paintbrush. And so I said, God, your paintbrush is amazing. Thank you for sharing this beauty with me. And I got back very, very clearly. If you look for the good and the true and the beautiful in everything and everyone and in every situation around you, eventually that's all you will see. However, if you look for the corrupt and the broken and the dark in everything and everyone around you, eventually that's all you will see. And that's heaven and hell. And I've been chewing on that for the last couple of years since that moment. Entropy versus creation. Yes, entropy. The world is constantly breaking down and everything crumbles and dies. Versus creation. The world is constantly growing and evolving and changing, and there's something at work, some force, that's overcoming entropy. Both can be true. But I think in faith, we have to pick one. One is light and happiness and trust. The other is fear. So trust or fear, if all you look for is you look around the world and you trust the Creator, you trust God, you trust the world, then eventually you will see God's hand everywhere. And it'll become easier and easier to trust. If you look around in fear and see the darkness and corruption, eventually that's all you'll see. And that's a miserable existence. What does this have to do with money? The same thing is true in our economy. God, if you look around and you see all the corruption and darkness, you'll find it. And you'll find reasons to be paralyzed in fear, just like the third servant in the parable of the talents who buried his money because he was afraid of losing it. But if you trust the Lord and you trust that God created a world that was designed to be fruitful, to multiply, and to respond to our energy and our efforts, then you lean into it. And it's not to say that there's not entropy at work. There is. But are you looking for what could go wrong, or are you looking for what could go right? And that's in business, that's in markets and investing. Doesn't mean be naive, but it means trust and have hope and believe that God is a God of creation and that He's overcoming the entropy.